Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Captain America, SOL. All right, it's actually Sentinel of Liberty, but you get what I'm saying, right? Anyway, this was jury's kind of out on this one. It seems like it's good. It seems like it's going to be good, but I'm not quite sure I can put my finger on what the heck is going on right now. Let's get talking about who made this comic book. We'll see if we can't figure some things out, break the cipher, so to speak, from that point on. So, two writers on this one, which probably explains why it was so confusing, Jackson Lansing and Colin Kelly. One artist, Carmen Carnero. He also did the inks. Let's see, and VC's Joe Caramagna on letters, and Nolan Woodard doing the colors. Carmen Carnero and Alejandro Sanchez did the covers, and it looks like there's 6 people doing variant covers. So, hi. And of course, Captain America was created by Jack Kirby and Joe Simon. So we start off with the creation of the shield. And it's interesting because I see a black guy working on the shield. Like he's sweating and toiling over it. That makes sense because, hey, look, it was done in Wakanda, right? But then I see a German-style helmet. A guy with a rifle, looks like a rifle, slung over his shoulder, guarding or watching over this black guy who's doing this stuff. So I wonder, was it actually made in Wakanda? I mean, Wakanda was never conquered, so was this guy a Wakandan was brought over? Like, it's interesting. It's genuinely interesting to me what it is that they're trying to do with this shield right now. I don't know that I'm going to enjoy this. I don't know that this is going to be something that I'm going to like, changing the history of the shield, but it's a tweak, that's for sure. Just the question is it a tweak that's going to tighten the chair, or is it one that's going to loosen the chair? Unfortunately, you can only find out when you sit on the chair, right? So, all those analogies aside, we go into Captain America talking about stuff, and of course, he has to mention the dream. The undefined dream. The American dream, of course. So many people have lost the idea of the dream. There are good things being said about America in this one, and that makes me happy. There's a huge 4th of July celebration. Some jackass twit goes and says something to the effect of, oh yeah, your garish, birthday celebration for your country. Like, ugh. Yeah, greatest nation on the face of the planet. Greatest nation in the history of the face of the planet. Bothers me that so many people have so many problems with the West. Meanwhile, America is a shining beacon for literally freedom. Freedom. And all sorts of things like that. I know there's going to be people who are going to say things negative about it, but guess what? You're wrong because you don't actually understand world history. Only American history. And you see the faults as opposed to the things that have made us better than everybody else. Hey, that's on you. Here, there seems to be an actual appreciation for the country, which that's what I want to see in a Captain America story. Yes, absolutely. If there's something wrong in the country or even with some of the people in charge of the country currently, Captain America goes at them with a blocking shield and a punching right. But yeah, I want to see the dream being pushed forward as the goal, as the end goal. Hopefully we see something like that in here. Steve decides to uncostume to go and hang out and live in Lower East Side of Manhattan. Not interested in living in Brooklyn proper. Okay, fine, I get it. But he's going to go here. And it's weird. He goes in, this one guy's like, oh, you want Captain America wants to stay here? It's like, so you recognize this guy, even though his hood is over top of his head and he's in, dress clothes. You can't actually see his shield. And he said that, oh, I've been in my mask and my uniform more than anything else lately. And this guy just right away, the first word spoken, Captain America wants to live in my building. Says, apartment 415, but only if it's still available. I don't want anybody moving on my account. 415, that's a rat hole. And smaller, I should know. It's where I put the rats. So Captain America wants to live like a normal person. That's exactly what it says on here. Captain America wants to live like a normal person. Meanwhile, I don't know, the Captain America I know would probably say, wait a second, so are you acknowledging that you're a slumlord? because I think that we should shut you down. I think that we should get this building, saying taken from you and do the actual renovations ourselves. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe that's what's going to happen. Maybe I'm acting too soon because that would put some people homeless, right? A lot of people homeless. I don't know. It's weird. But Captain America living in a building, if Captain America wanted to live in my building, I'd be like, dude, you are awesome. I'd shake his hands, give him a hug, all sorts of good stuff. Meanwhile, I'd be calling a moving company to move me out immediately. I wouldn't even know where I'm going right away. You know what I'm saying? But I would put my family in our cars as opposed to living in the same building with Captain America, even overnight, because that's a target. That's a huge target. Writers in the past, Ed Brubaker specifically, had Captain America living in an isolated building kind of away from other people so that if somebody did target him, it would have to be something on the effect of, 20 megatons in order to actually hurt other people. Like I said, I would hate to live in the same building as any superhero, including the Baxter building, right? But I definitely feel safer in the Baxter building than in a regular old slumlord apartment building with Captain freaking America living there. Like, what's he going to do? Use his shield to protect all of us from the explosion, from the terrorist attack? Come on. So already I'm not having a whole lot of fun with this. It seems very antithetical, but as long as they don't go that kind of a route, it would be cool if we saw Captain America actually renovating the building from the inside, helping out, making the place better, one floor at a time or just something to that effect, right? It would be cool if he actually did something like that and then had the slumlord removed somehow. If we saw something like that, that would redeem this opening foray, as it were. But he's making friends with people. He's comparing the old world with the new. He goes for a jog with the shield, which is really weird to me. He's not even in costume, but he's got the shield with him. So he's making sure everybody sees, hi, this is what I look like. This is me. This is really Captain America. Hey, follow me back to, because I'm not taking any secret routes or anything like that. At least he's walking through the woods. It doesn't mean it's a secret route. Anyway, and it's just, hey, come and follow me back to my apartment building and you can blow up my tenement and everything's cool. It's weird, but I do like the idea that he lets the other kids play with the shield because it's everybody's shield. I actually dig stuff like that. Captain America is doing some artwork. He's taking an art class, which good. You remember that he's actually an artist. And I can see him trying to slightly struggle with some of the new technology. At the same time, don't forget the super soldier also enhanced his brain. He is supposed to be a genius who just doesn't apply himself to anything, He's like the ridiculously smart kid who never did any homework in high school, but he still wound up passing really well. I know that kid. It was me, being like top or second best in every single one of my classes just because I could comprehend everything really well. Did I specialize in anything? No, I wasn't interested. Not until I was in my mid-20s, but I could literally do anything that I wanted to do. And Captain America is supposed to be a lot smarter than me. That's the kind of thing that I want to see. So, learning curve, sure, but he closes that gap really quick. He cracks that Liberty Bell curve. Anyway, some of the conversations he has hanging out with people with blue hair, which to me is a little bit annoying too. Don't do that. Don't do that. Absolutely never hang out with somebody like that. No, don't. He's hanging out with some people talking on an old ham radio. It seems that there are other super soldiers out there. Too many super soldiers. Seems kind of weird to me. I also don't like the idea that they age at a normal rate. Not a fan of that, but hey. And they're from different countries also, like they hang out with each other. I'm not completely adverse to that. I would like to find some of these other people who they're talking about, though. Like, the one guy who's actually a rocket scientist and stuff like that. I like that they're actually working with each other, talking with each other. I like that they're working and breaking down this cipher, this code that seems to be coming from World War II era. I dig this. Like little things like this. I really like this because it's odd. It's showing that there are other people there. What is it? Radio team? What the hell did he call it? It's right here. No, it's not. I just thought it was. It's Nope, lost interest. Bucky is in this, and Bucky is not a chump. Oh my God, imagine that. Bucky actually talks, instead of talking about the silly not, they remind us that he was the man on the wall. I hated that personally, but whatever, it is what it is. But I like the idea that he's not silly, he's not cracking jokes, he's not hanging out with Hawkeye and acting like the fool, or acting like the more mature of the two fools, but still the freaking fool, you know? To get really old, like even before my time, Laurel and Hardy, Abbott and Costello. It's like they were both dumb. One was just a lot dumber than the other, right? No, here he's actually, like, they remind us that, you know, he's kicked this guy's ass, he's killed that guy, he's done all these crazy psyops type things, you know, throughout history. And yes, he is an absolute irreverent badass. Thank you very much. It's kind of weird that Cap, holding his essentially, you know, for all intents and purposes, impenetrable shield to protect himself, and Bucky just kind of throws up his arm and he's protected from the exact same blast. For a moment, I thought they were going to kill Bucky, and I figured it would have been apropos. It's the first issue. They established him as a badass, not some chump, but then they kill him, and then Cap has to do this stuff where it's like, oh my God, Bucky, and then we have to find out that he actually survived because this thing that he was holding was actually kind of, and I thought that they were going to do something like that. I don't know. They didn't, spoiler, but there's a lot of ways that there are a lot of ways they could have gone with this, and instead they went a very different route. Bucky seems to have his own agenda in something here. I'm not complaining. As long as he's not necessarily going against Cap, although it would be cool to see a quick little clash, right? As long as he's not turning into a bad guy. The shield seems to be something that is actually the biggest or the greatest weapon of the enemy. There are other friends around this that are trying to help out and whatnot. There seems to be this enemy who's in the shadows, but we see his face. I don't recognize him personally, but is apparently going to be some kind of a fascist type, you know, exactly who Captain America is supposed to be fighting against, right? I do not have any major problems with this comic book. I don't. There are a lot of things that are set up to be really cool. I'm not there yet to say that they are cool, but I like the setup. I like the idea that they're not trying to chump out Cap and saying, you know, oh, America's this overrated thing, but, you know, this postmodernistic idea of, you know, America's actually not the hub of innovation. America is actually, you know, not the land of the free and the home of the brave. You know, we haven't changed the course of history for the better. Sure, we've made some mistakes along the way. Sure, we've actually purposely done some bad things along the way, but look at what the other countries have done. Look at how enlightened we are compared to some of the other people in some of the other countries. Countries that I have lived in, worked in, learned the language of the peoples, hung out with the people, and listened to the people talking about, you know, oh, yeah, America does this, that, and the other. You know what our country does? You know what I'm saying? Forget about it. Like, you know, your country is, you know, well, I want to go to your country one of these days. You know, it's like there's a lot of that in the world. There's a reason why people come over here. Stop shining a negative light on America. It's dumb. It's not going to last either. It's not going to last. Eventually, some of these little kiddies are going to grow up with their stupid little ideas that America's bad because of the nonsense they pump into people's heads in you know, modern day universities. Eventually, they will go and see the world, I hope. And eventually, they will realize, I can't wait to get back home because it's so much better. So much better. 'Tis what it is. Anyway, guys, I'm looking forward to this being a fantastic comic book. I'm going to have to be on issue number 2 because there's so much there telling us that there's a story here. Again, a little nervous, got a little trepidation going into this enemy weapon shield story, but I'm curious. I'll say that. My curiosity has certainly been piqued. All right. Talk to you guys later. Hey, like the video on your way out. Watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.